Hello to my integrated marketing grad class. This is Dr. Bowen here. Just wanted to address a few brief topics related to your case study project. Now that you have an approved case study client, hopefully you should have emailed me that and gotten some feedback, questions, and eventual approval. Now that that is out of the way, you should be engaged in research. Because this is an advanced class, we do spend much of our time on research methods. Of course, we learned a lot about research methods during the first month of this course. Now we're going to spend a lot of time in data collection so that you can have a lot of information upon which to base your advanced IMC strategy. So what I would like you to do is think about your client organization and learn everything you can about them. That means not just going to their own website and social media outlets, but what's been said about them in the mass media. It also means you need to do some library research. So that type of secondary research is going to be very important, looking at the size of the organization, their economic impact, their leadership, their board of trustees or directors if they have one, their organizational structure. Anything else you can find out in the reference section of the library will be very important. I recommend starting with Hoover's Handbook of American Business, and all but the smallest organizations should be represented there. That'll give you a great way to understand the overview of your company. Also visit industry and trade associations for whatever sector they're working in. That'll give you a lot of secondary information about the market and industry as a whole. Then think about looking at the organization's leadership, its management team, its CEO in particular, how the organization is structured, whether it's very hierarchical or a vertical organization, or whether it's more of a flat, horizontal, or decentralized organization, and what that means for its organizational culture. You might want to look at its social media, Facebook posts. You also should probably go to Glassdoor and see what employees and former employees say about the company. So all of this is secondary research, looking at everything you can glean that other people have put out there, and you can simply collect it. Keep track of all of that, probably in a Google Doc or some other format that your group can use, the Blackboard site, GroupSpace, etc. Then, if you would like to engage in primary research, I want you to do this. It doesn't matter how big the primary research is, as long as you try to do it. So that will mean talking to current consumers who use the organizations, maybe talking to employees at the organization, finding out what you can learn from them. It also includes, of course, things like surveys and focus groups, but because we're doing this for a course and we're in an online asynchronous environment, I'm not going to require you to do a representative survey with a margin of error that's acceptable based on a large sample size. That's too much. But if you do want to do a SurveyMonkey small survey, anecdotal data is wonderful and welcome as well. If you want to do informal interviews or even formal interviews with people who know something about the company, I highly encourage that. You don't have to get in touch with your client organization in real life, but you absolutely can. I encourage you to, if it's at all possible, to reach out to their media relations office, ask questions of their public relations person, find out what problems and challenges they face on a day-to-day basis and in larger trends. That'll help you when it comes time to write your strategic analysis paper, which essentially is a research report. I want you to hone it down as it's listed on the syllabus, basically talking about main problems that they're facing, looking at the aggregate data, the general trends that you found. You can report some of your raw data, such as quotes for employees, but make sure you use that sparingly and use your space to focus on aggregate data, trends, things that you found in both primary and secondary research. This is going to give us a really good overview of the main problems or main issues for development that your organization is facing. They may not have a lot of ongoing big problems, but there's always a way to improve. There are deficits in what they're doing with their integrated marketing, and there are things that you can add onto it. So at that point, think about our gigantic textbook and all of the chapters that we are reading. Think about what your classmates have put up in those PowerPoints for you on Blackboard, and think about what's missing for your client organization. Think about all of the things we've studied this semester in this almost 1,000-page tome, and think about ways that you can strategically improve the areas that you found deficits in through your primary and secondary research. Now, you're probably going to have a lot of ideas, but I want you to hone it down to the main recommendations, just like is specified in the syllabus and in the project guidelines. So think about honing that down so that your research paper is hard-hitting. You can use bullet points, you can use charts and graphs, but again, keep your page limit to exactly what I have set out for you. Don't try to go over unless maybe you're putting in a very large figure, then you can go a little bit over on text commensurately. But be very cognizant about your page limits and keep it to your primary strategic recommendations. So what you found deficits in with the research and what strategy you think will be used going forward to resolve the problem or further the organization using IMC strategy. So I look forward to speaking with each group. We have a required Zoom meeting for each group just so I can touch base with you and make sure you have thought of everything. I can ask questions, and of course, so you can ask questions of me. So don't hesitate to set that up soon, and I look forward to seeing all the work you're doing. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.